Today, Pfizer submitted its COVID vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11 for the FDA's emergency use authorization. Parents all over the country are now waiting to hear the FDA's decision and wondering how it will affect their family life and how they go to school. The vaccine debate gets more complicated for those couples who might have different views on what is best for their kids. So joining us right now is Brad Novak, a father who went through this debate himself in his own home over his daughter's COVID-19 vaccine status. Brad, thank you so much for being with us and being open to talk about this, because I think a lot of parents need to hear that they're not alone in this debate. You didn't want your 13-year-old to get vaccinated. Your ex-wife actually did want your daughter to get vaccinated, and your daughter did get the shot. So my first question is, how contentious was this argument between the two of you?
It really wasn't very contentious. I expressed my thoughts and she expressed hers. Ultimately, my daughter made the decision and she has the vaccine.
So it was your daughter, you guys gave her the option. You asked your 13-year-old what she wanted to do, and she decided she wanted to get it.
Ultimately, that was it. Yep. She's a responsible young lady, and she wanted the shot, so she got it.
So it sounds to me like you guys have a really great co-parenting relationship, but I would imagine for a lot of families it might be a little tough. There might be some tense moments. But what?
I wish that was the case, but we're working on it.
Okay. Like, okay, all right. I hear you. We keep it real. So here's my question. What was your concern? Why did you not want your daughter to get vaccinated?
Sure. I just think that my daughter's, well, first and foremost, very young, and her making an adult decision like that, I don't think was necessarily the best course of action. Additionally, I'm not quite sure, how it's going to affect her long term. I know the companies Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, most assuredly we're trying to save lives. And I just think that due to the nature of this kind of seeking out a vaccine so quickly, we're not necessarily sure how it's going to affect our children, specifically my 3 children. So just was really worried, how is this going to affect her ability to have children herself, or is she going to develop some sort of third lobe later or anything like that? Just was really concerned about how it's going to affect her long term.
Well, I think there are a lot of parents who have the same concerns as you. We want to thank you so much for sharing your story. There are other parents who are really excited to get this vaccine for their kids and are thankful because they want their children to be able to be safe and healthy. We're joined right now by a clinical psychologist. This is Elizabeth Cohen, Dr. Elizabeth Cohen, in New York, working with the families of divorce. So obviously there are a lot of perspectives to this story, and sometimes parents don't agree even when they're married in the same house about whether or not their kids should be vaccinated. So can you kind of shine a light on what the best way to address this is?
Yeah, so it's a really important question. I think that we really need to be respectful that whatever a person is feeling about their situation needs to be heard by the other parent. Very often we jump into statements to defend our side. And I really encourage my clients to start with being curious about why that parent is feeling what they're feeling. You don't have to agree with them, but you can try to understand where they're coming from. Listen, for example, to what Brad is feeling or what his ex-partner was feeling, and try to connect on the fact that you're both having very strong, passionate feelings related to how much you care about your kid. Right. Don't get stuck on the fact that you've argued throughout your relationship. That might be why your relationship ended. This isn't about your relationship. This is about communicating your needs of your kid.
And really, it was interesting. Brad talked about the fact that his daughter ultimately made the decision. He wasn't really for her being able to make such a grown-up decision. Is this something, too, that we need to be paying attention to, that children may or may not be qualified to know what's best for their own bodies, or should they have more of a voice?
I think it really depends on the age of the child. I think it's incredibly important to realize that, similarly to Brad's situation, that being from a divorced family and being a co-parent, you have to let go a lot. You lose half of the battles. And so you need to really be open and flexible so that your kids can get and see the model of compromise. But sometimes you lose. I mean, that just happens in divorce. And so I think one of the things that's so powerful about people who are going through a divorce is that they learn so incredibly clearly how to let go, which is one of the best lessons in life.
Well, Dr. Cohen, you nailed it on the head there. And I think that the biggest message that you've sent and so many parents need to send and want to is that no matter what the opinion is, we really do love you, our son, our daughter, our child. So thank you so much. We appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.